This is Karim Salim. Karim is a very famous Egyptian TikToker. Alongside, he's a husband, a father, and also known to be a good teacher. But amongst those many things, Karim is a serial killer. The new Cairo serial killer was arrested after the body of a 34-year-old woman named Aisha Samir was found in New Cairo, Egypt. Aside from being an Egyptian, Karim was also a citizen of the United States because when he was a teenager, his parents flew to the United States with him and his younger siblings, a younger brother and a younger sister to be precise. But at some point, he came back to New Cairo in Egypt, where he continued his high school and university. But then he went back to the United States to work in his father's company and to also continue his schooling. While Karim was in the university in the United States, he met this British Egyptian woman named Lobna Yekaut. Lobna and Karim eventually got married not quite long after Karim had his PhD degree. And Lobna and Karim went straightforward to having a child, a son actually, named Zain. And eventually, after they had a child, the marriage started having problems that happened between partners, where we notice that most of the signs start reflecting before the victim gets killed, whereby the husband or the wife or the boyfriend or the girlfriend starts showing those toxic traits, and the victim decides to just skip it or avoid it or think it might change over time, and it always end up not going well. So as for the story of Karim and Lobna and their issues, Karim's parents tried resolving the whole issue, but it seems nothing was working out between them. That same year, Karim decided to move back to New Cairo in Egypt with his whole family, where they started a tattoo shop, and Karim even got a job, a teaching job actually, at a notable international school there in New Cairo. And in no time, Karim was very famous amongst his colleagues. Why? Because Karim was very outspoken, he was very charismatic, and he knew how to lead. He just had that leading spirit in him. But all this didn't last for long because his colleagues started noticing Karim actually had some issues. What issues? He had anger issues and sudden mood swings, getting angry at people easily. But little do they know that Karim was actually a drug user. Karim was always on crystal meth. In no time, the school found out about Karim's bad behavior and his use of drugs, and he was immediately fired away from the school. After he got fired, he took abusing Lobna to the next level. He got to a stage where he started abusing her publicly, he started controlling her, and he started threatening her. And this was too much for Lobna to bear, but Lobna was just still bearing all this because of her son Zain. Because he got to a stage where he would seize her phone for weeks, he threatened her for cheating on him, accused her, and he even threatened a sister of Lobna who came over to visit them. And when Lobna realized that this was too much for her to bear, she went to file a divorce. She came home and Karim found out about her asking for a divorce. And then Karim started threatening her and stalking her. And he went as far as even filing a case of adultery against Lobna. Although Lobna proved her innocence because the case got her arrested at first, but she proved her innocence later and she got the divorce and had custody of their son, Zain. After Lobna had custody of their son, Karim wasn't still satisfied. He kept stalking Lobna for days and days. And Lobna decided to let her son visit her ex-husband and his family after they begged and begged that they wanted to see him. When he went visiting, he got kidnapped from her. And Zain was only 6 when he got kidnapped. Like that wasn't enough. Karim still kept stalking. He was stalking, and at some point he would wait outside of her house for 4 days, holding a knife. Lobna was very scared. she had to disguise herself with the help of her sister, traveled to the UK, where most of her family is. After Karim lost his job, he started running a TikTok account named Hooked on Phonies. He had over 600,000 followers, where he started teaching people American English. And most time, his son, Zayn, appeared in most of his videos. On social media, Karim was very, very charismatic, but nobody knew that learned, most especially the sex workers per se. He would invite them over to his house with his money and drug. He would invite them over to his place at New Cairo, where he drugs them, then torture them, sexually assault them, and physically abuse them, and even sometimes kill them while recording the whole act. Because as of that time, he was staying in a soundproof house, more like a studio or something, with hidden cameras. And sometimes he uses his phone to record the whole act. Karim's crime started getting exposed on the 3rd of March 2024, where the body of a 21-year-old university student named Miriam Ismail was found after she has been tortured, sexually assaulted, strangled, and also dumped in an isolated part of the city. On the 15th of April that same year, the body of a 29-year-old housewife named Leila Mahmoud was also discovered in an isolated part of the city around the Cairo Suez Highway. And on the 30th of that same month, the body of a little girl, a 19-year-old girl named Fatima Hassan, who was a university student around that time, her body was also found in an isolated part of the city. Like, that wasn't still enough. The next month after that, which was on the 12th of May 2024, the body of a 34-year-old bank teller named Aisha Samir was found again in a remote part of the New Cairo suburban area. This was giving too many flags. It was ringing a lot of bells. And by now, the police are convinced that this killing might be connected with the same killer or group of killers because they were all females from the age of 19 to 34. They had similar injuries and they were either buried or dumped in an isolated or remote part of the country. But at first, the police had no clue to work with because Karim was a very smart man. He cleaned the bodies, there were no DNAs, no fingerprints, nothing, absolutely nothing to link him or track back the murder to him. 3 days after the last body was found, some eyewitnesses came to the police and told them that they saw a black SUV parked close to where the body was found. And with the help of a CCTV footage in a nearby gas station, the police traced down that black SUV to a rental company there in New Cairo, where they gave up Karim's identity. With further investigations, the police noticed that this SUV has been rented by Karim every day those bodies were found. And immediately the police found out about this, they started monitoring Karim. They even got a court order to monitor his house, his movement, his internet, his search history. While they were monitoring his search history, they noticed Karim has been searching for ways to torture and sexually assault women. He has even been visiting online forums where they talk about extreme sexual practices. Early that morning on the 20th of May, while Karim was still sleeping, the police raided his house, arrested him, and they found crystal meth, which was found in the body of all the victims. They also found his soundproof room with hidden cameras and torture equipment. They seized his phone and laptop. And again, Karim tried to play smart. He wiped his phone. But trust me, it's the police we are talking about here. They still found some proof that Karim was recording those stuffs with his phone. While the police confronted Karim, he claimed that he was innocent, that this might be a setup from his ex-wife, Lobna. He denied and denied the case until the police confronted him with a video evidence of him torturing the women in about 13 videos. Then he confessed. He said he met and lured those women from dating sites and social media platforms, where he invites them over for the first date and spend quality time with them. And it was usually the second date after gaining their trust, where he drugs them with tramadol and GHB, popularly known as the date rate drug. And while they are unconscious, he uses the opportunity to tie them and torture them. And this torturing goes as far as flogging, beating, and even electric shocking these women. After torturing, he sexually assaults them and kill them and dump their bodies somewhere else. Some sources also claim that Karim usually tortured his victims for days before killing them and dumping their bodies. Investigators said Karim had no remorse because he would sometimes smile and even laugh while he was describing how he tortured and abused those women. They are thinking he might have up to 6 victims and he might have started killing these women since November 2023. The news of Karim's arrest broke the Egyptian social media space. Most people thought it was a publicity stunt, not until his trial began. During his trial, some sources said he had an accomplice with him that has shown in some of his videos, but the identity of that person is yet to be known and the person hasn't been arrested or charged to court. Alongside, Karim's TikTok account was banned. Although some sources claim that Karim is responsible for the death of the 4 women found, it seems he was only charged for 3 women who were described as sex workers. His trial began in June 2024, where he was charged with murder, human trafficking, and drug possession. Karim's first lawyer quit, and Karim denied his initial statement and even his confession to the murder. His persecutor presented a lot of evidence, like the CCTV footage of Karim using a rented car to dump the bodies. During his trial, Lobna, his ex-wife, came back to try to get her son, but she didn't get much help because she doesn't even know where he is, because he might be in the US or somewhere in Egypt with her ex-husband's mother. She also believes that her husband must have told her son that she was dead. She then filed a case of kidnap and violation of court order against Karim's mom, but much hasn't been done till now. She started a crowd fundraiser to try get her son back so she could have money to pay off lawyers and get other things she'll need to have her son back. In August 2024, Karim was found guilty of murdering 3 women and was sentenced to death by hanging. And in September that same year, his death sentence was upheld, although he could still appeal the sentence. Lobna was very lucky. She found the signs and knew Karim was a beast on time, and she took the bold step. She left him before it cost her her life. And I feel Karim deserves everything he has now. I believe him being sentenced to death, he deserves it and even more, because those women never deserved to meet their end in such a way. Let me know what you feel about this story in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.